Good afternoon and Sawasdee krap. I'll be providing the summary of the daily press briefing of the COVID Situation Administration Center, the CCSA. Today is Wednesday, April the 22nd, 2020. Today is also Earth Day, which is a reminder for us to take actions to protect our environment and our Earth. So happy Earth Day 2020, วันคุ้มครองโลก. This day is recognized by the United Nations resolution in 2009. It is time to reflect our role in, our impact on, and our contribution to both global environment and global health. And this pandemic is a stark reminder of the vulnerability of humans and the planet in the face of global scale threats. Of course, unchecked damage to our environment must be addressed. And as the spokesperson had mentioned in the ending about the waste and the trash produced from working at home during this time, of course the concern is about all the contaminated masks, but no need to worry about contaminated masks in terms of medical use because that is being taken care of in the appropriate procedures. But of course at our homes, it is best of course to take the best care of the waste being produced, separating the trash and waste from the beginning. So we should be joining hands to protect the earth by preventing disease. ป้องกันโรค ปกป้องโลก. Today is also day 101 after the first case of COVID infection was reported outside China, which is here in Thailand. And the teams of doctors and nurses and medical staff and volunteers and officials have been working around the clock day and night for the past weeks and months to control this pandemic for our safety. So we are thankful for their dedication and we will show our appreciation by complying with measures for our hygiene and of course social distancing and physical distancing. The spokesperson also mentioned about the stress level in society and around the world because of the hardships faced, because of COVID, the loss of loved ones and all the stress about the future. So we aim to address this. The Prime Minister has focused on, firstly, as the first highest priority, health security. And second, of course, is the economic rehabilitation. And budget is involved. Budget is prepared to address these issues and carry out the necessary programs. One important piece of information that is important for the foreign community in Thailand is, of course, that you have already probably heard in the news yesterday is the issue about the automatic visa extension, which I will be talking about later. Turning to the general situation, the numbers which we report to you every day. For Thailand, for today, we have new confirmed cases numbering 15. That's a very good number, still in the tens like yesterday, making the accumulated total of confirmed cases 2,826. As you see on the slide on screen now, total recoveries and discharged persons is 2,352. While new fatalities, we have to report to you today one new fatality, making the total 49. The 49th fatality is a 58-year-old Thai woman who had symptoms and was suffering from diabetes and obesity. She was in close contact with her daughter, who is a confirmed case of COVID-19 infection. And our condolences to the family of the deceased. For the observations on new cases, we have today one more new province without any new cases of COVID in the past 14 days, which is the province of Nakhon Ratchasima. So congratulations to the people of Nakhon Ratchasima on this good news. This brings the total number of provinces around the country, or what we call the green zone provinces, to 36 provinces with no new cases in the last 14 days. And of course, this is almost half of the total number of provinces in the entire country in Thailand. The spokesperson also talked about the definition of patients under investigation, or PUI, the revised definition of PUI. Firstly, the first group of cluster of criteria would be that patients would have to have fever or body temperature from 37.5 degrees, that's one cluster, and have one of the symptoms in the second cluster, one of these, which is either cough, runny nose, sore throat, breathing problems, or pneumonia. So the first cluster plus the second cluster of symptoms, and they must have the third cluster criteria of symptoms. The third, which is having risk factors in the last 14 days, for example, traveling to and from risk areas, or was in close contact with infected persons. Another piece of information is the analysis, the revised information from the Department of Disease Control, wherein they have found that in Bangkok and in the provinces, the areas that have found the most highest number of infection might vary from the information in Bangkok and those in the provinces. But all in all, these areas definitely include entertainment places, either in Bangkok or in the provinces, gambling dens, supermarkets, beauty parlors, restaurants, department stores, public transport, and hospitals. Of course, these are the sources that COVID may be found either in Bangkok or in the provinces. And of course, we hope that when life resumes to normal, these venues, these establishments will be able to keep the hygienic standards for a long time. The stress level, as mentioned, is also being monitored in Thailand and around the country as well. So for the observations, I've addressed some issues which actually were raised as questions on social media, either the Facebook English language Facebook pages of the various government agencies, the CCSA Facebook and website itself, or the Facebook or website of the Public Relations Department. We monitor these inquiries from time to time, and we aim to address these in due course, one of which is the definition of PUI, which I had already mentioned. So moving on to the enforcement of curfew, we have 482 violations of curfew in terms of leaving residences and premises, and 55 violations in terms of gathering in large groups, making the total number of violations yesterday totaling 537. There was also a question about the ending of lockdown in various provinces, in which the spokesperson replied that that would be according to the provinces. Some provinces are starting to discuss about the flexible measures, but of course we have to be cautious about the actual release of the stringent measures across the country, as mentioned yesterday already. So moving on to the movement and number of arrivals and repatriation and movement of people, we have a slide in blue. Yes, here, we can show that on screen as well. It is the number of Thai nationals repatriated by the government's assistance during the 4th to the 21st of April 2020. We keep a tally of this. We started yesterday. Yesterday, the 20th, was the day that we did not have any inbound repatriation flights, but today there is. So this is the number, we're tallying that, and of course, tallying this to have clarity in terms of coordinating with different agencies responsible for quarantine, for example, to enter the state quarantine process. So this is the tally until the 21st. For today, in particular, we have a number of flights coming in for the repatriation of Thai nationals. Today, 3 flights, one from Russia, 25 persons, as you see on the slide on screen, 60 from the Republic of Korea, and 115 from Vietnam, bringing back a total of 200 Thai nationals today, and all of them will be entering the state quarantine process according to standard procedure. Every day, I also give you some images of the assistance we provide through the Thai embassies and consulates abroad to the Thai communities, be it in providing support to the local community, being facilitating repatriation flights. So I have some of those images for you today. Yes, the first is the Royal Thai Embassy in Dhaka, Bangladesh, with the ambassador at the airport providing support to the local community. We have the consular staff, the diplomats in our embassy in Bangladesh, meeting with students in the Thai community to provide support and assistance, dried foods, masks. Yes, for the assistance in Tokyo, and we also have a picture of the assistance from the Thai Trade Economic Office in Taipei and the Royal Thai Embassy in Tokyo, helping to facilitate the repatriation flights for Thai nationals yesterday. Yes, next pictures, please. The one issue one mission, I would say, which I would like to talk about is a very important mission. There was one Thai national who was a tourist in Eastern Europe, and he was traveling in Montenegro. He was traveling in Montenegro and had to travel from Montenegro through around 3 or 4 countries. So the Thai embassies, around 3 or 4 Thai embassies in the area, had to coordinate for the travel because they had to make sure that this individual was not to be quarantined or kept for a prolonged period of time in any country, or else he would have missed the flight, the repatriation flight back to Thailand. So from Montenegro, the embassy assisted in renting a car from Montenegro to Bosnia, through Croatia, and to Hungary. And I think just now we had an image of the meeting with the embassy in Hungary, in Budapest. And from Hungary, he was transported by car to Vienna to be able to catch the flight from Vienna. Yes, next slide, please. To Frankfurt, to be transiting in the airport in Frankfurt and meeting the consul in Frankfurt before arriving at the airport in Amsterdam. And after Amsterdam, he was able to catch that flight from Amsterdam to Bangkok and to arrive at the Suvarnabhumi airport and taken directly to the state quarantine process. Yes. So, as mentioned, there is one important piece of information that I have about the automatic visa extension stay permit. Of course, many of you would have been learned of this in the news yesterday evening already, but it's quite good news for expats and foreign nationals, foreign tourists in Thailand. That yesterday the cabinet approved the second automatic visa extension for foreign citizens to stay temporarily in Thailand as a measure to avoid the mass gatherings at the Immigration Bureau, which could lead to further spread of the virus. The details, and you have a summary on screen. For foreigners who currently hold non-immigrant visa of any type, their second renewal, or so-called automatic visa renewal, will be extended from the 1st of May until the 31st of July 2020. In summary, all visa holders do not have to apply for extension. They can stay in the country until the 31st of July. They do not have to make the mandatory 90-day reporting, every 90 days reporting to the immigration. No fees are to be collected, and no documents are needed to be submitted. For foreign residents with work permits in Thailand who have not been able to return to their country, the duration of return is extended to be more than 1 year, and they must make a return to the country as soon as the situation improves and normal procedures apply. For border pass holders, for foreigners entering the country by using the border pass, they are permitted to stay until the land borders are opened, and they must make a return within 7 days. And of course, further information can be provided by the Immigration Bureau, and their hotline number is 1178. An update on the international cooperation that we have on ASEAN. Tomorrow, there will be a ministerial level meeting, the ASEAN US meeting on COVID via teleconference, wherein the foreign minister of Thailand with the other foreign ministers of ASEAN member states are scheduled to participate in this meeting with the United States counterpart, the Secretary of State. And this meeting will discuss ways to strengthen the cooperation between ASEAN and the US on COVID, including exchange of information and best practices, providing assistance to ASEAN and US citizens affected by COVID, maintenance of supply chain to avoid shortage of necessary goods, and preparations for reviving, rehabilitating the economies. So that will happen tomorrow. One inquiry which came in from the English language community audience or community on social media was questions about the electricity bill, which seems to have doubled lately, and the spokesperson had addressed this already, that the Metropolitan Electricity Authority explained that during the summer months, temperature was high, and of course, being required to work at home, stay at home, we consumed more electricity. And it's good news that yesterday the cabinet has approved the relief measures for people in Thailand affected with regard to electricity, meaning that households using less than 150 units can use electricity free of charge for 3 months from March to May, and for those consuming more than 150 units per month will be charged at a reduced rate during the same period. So in terms of general advice, we continue to ask you to cooperate with physical distance. As mentioned yesterday, the tide might be turning, the number might look good, but of course we must be wary of the second wave. All of us, of course, can fight COVID together by hygiene practices and continuing to help stop the spread of virus in various methods, and keeping minimum contact and achieve maximum intact. So I'd like to conclude with perhaps some light-hearted pictures. Yes. So we have a caricature, a cartoon, which will be on screen for you, by Kai Hora, or Laughters for Sale. It's an all-time popular Thai comic for all ages, and they're currently working with the CCSA in presenting information that is easily understood to the public, as well as working with the World Health Organization in producing content to raise public awareness on how to be safe from COVID. So this picture, this cartoon, depicts Tosakan, or Ravana, a mystical demon king of Lanka from the Hindu epic Ramayana, if you're familiar. Ravana, or Tosakan, being apprehended by the police, with some other people being apprehended by the police because they are violating the curfew by going out at night from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. in the morning and gathering or congregating. And the cartoon, of course, just pictures Ravana, or Tosakan, who mystically has 10 faces, complaining bitterly on how to practice social distancing and avoid gatherings during curfew, because he can never be alone, because he has 10 faces as a deity on his head. So for those who are not familiar, I'm certain that one day soon you can, if you visit the temple of the Emerald Buddha, Ravana is one of the demons guarding the temple doors in the temple of Emerald Buddha in Bangkok, and he's green. So you can look for him the next time you visit the temple of the Emerald Buddha. I do hope that you will be able to visit the sites in Thailand and around the world soon as possible. Of course, this comes with your cooperation. As soon as we in Thailand and in the world fight off COVID and life returns to normal, and then we can visit all these interesting places around the world once again. So just in closing, I close in Thai and in English. Just more power to all. May the force be with you. ขอให้มีพลังกายพลังใจพลังบวกจงสถิตอยู่กับทุกคน Good afternoon. Thank you very much for your attention. สวัสดีครับ